What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another build video. This build video is for my Frost Mage 3.0, which has been buffed this patch in update 41. I've pushed the health even more, so it's pushing nearly 49k health. I've made some minor changes to CP, some skills and some traits. And like I said, it has been buffed with the skills and the changes to the chilled status effect as well. So let's jump straight into it. So the first thing we'll go over is the skills. So I'll go through what has remained the same and what has changed. So we're still running Deep Fissure, as it's just an absolutely amazing skill. Hits super hard, and it also gives you major and minor breach in one skill. Absolutely amazing, so it's an absolute must. We are still running Green Lotus, as this will give you return on your health with heavy attacking, which we are constantly doing. It will also give you major prophecy and savagery, but we get that from the Oaken Soul, so that isn't actually needed. So it's just for the return of health. We are running Frost Reach, as this will deal frost damage and additional frost damage over time, and it also applies that very highly buffed chilled status effect, so that's going to hit super hard now. We have the Unstable Wall of Frost, which will deal frost damage. It gives everyone a frost barrier. It also reduces enemies' movement, and it also deals further frost damage and shielding allies. And the change to the build is previously was running the other morph, but I've now put on Polar Wind. You lose the stun, but you've got a super strong heal, which scales off your max health. So that's why we're pushing the boundaries of the max health as high as possible. So that's gonna you're gonna have a crazy heal there. So it really hits, it really heals you very strongly. And we are still running Northern Storm, but this has been changed. It used to activate and give you 300 weapon damage. It's actually been buffed, so it's still going to do the frost damage and reduce enemies' movement speed, but it's also going to give you stacking up to about 450 weapon and spell damage. So you're going to get also major protection as well, which is very nice. So this has been buffed as well. So that is going to make your weapon damage just that little bit higher. We'll go into the sets. It's mostly remained the same, but I've made some little adjustments. So if you just go through this with me as well. So we've got the Master's Ice Staff with the weapon damage enchantment, sharpened. So that's going to give you about 1,000 extra weapon damage when you hit Destructive Touch, which is your basics, your spammable. So Frost Reach it's called, because we're wielding a Frost Staff. This isn't the perfected version, so if you have the perfected version it's going to be even better. I think it gives you a line of extra weapon damage. We are running the Noon Attack monster set, which gives you armor and dealing frost damage. It will do major brittle, snare enemies. Very strong set. That is on heavy and reinforced. We've got a Caress of the Trainee, which is a heavy and infused, just to get that extra maximum health as high as possible. We're running the Heavy Shoulders in reinforced. The next set we're running is the Sash of the Frostbite set. So I was going to take this off, but it's just too good, and where like I said, the chilled status effect has been buffed, and this buffs your frost damage ability. It's just, even, I don't know, I just find it too hard to actually take off. It is just hitting really well. It just synergizes perfectly with the Frost Warden damage, so it's just an absolute must. It's a light armor set, and we are running it on the waist, gloves, legs and feet. Ideally have all the bigger pieces reinforced, I'll keep the chest as infused as I like the max stat there, and just the little pieces impenetrable is just an easy guide. I'm running 3 heavy and 4 lights. So we'll go to the jewellery. So we are running Amulet of the Frostbite with a Magicka recovery glyph in Arcane. And another change I've made is that I've made the Druid Ring healthy. It was bloodthirsty before, so we're stacking extra health to make them heals much stronger. And the Oaken Soul Ring again with healthy, and they both have a weapon damage enchantment on them. So that is the setup. So again, not changed too much, as it's just absolutely perfect. But again, like I said, the improvements, make sure if you can have the perfected one, have the perfected, and just impenetrable on the small pieces and reinforced on the larger pieces. And like I said, and I've just been stacking the healthy traits on the jewellery, so I've just made some minor changes to that there. So I've made some changes to the champion points as well, but going to the character sheet, this is just completely unbuffed. Like I said, the maximum health will nearly touch 49k health. The recoveries are a bit on the low side. I think they do go a little bit higher than that. But like I said, you are heavy attacking most of the time. I will go to a training dummy and show you all this. The weapon damage will just go a little over 6k. The penetration is at 8k, but you get the major and minor breach, so you'll be at about 18k pen. It'd be very, very nice. The spell resistance and critical the spell resistance and physical resistance are quite reasonable, but again, you're going to be having damage shields to buff you anyway, so don't worry about the resistances too much. The physical is a little bit on the low side, but again, you won't have to worry too much, as you'll be constantly shielded. And another change, the critical resistance on the previous build of the 2.0 was a little bit on the low side. It was 1600. I've now got it to 2400, as people are hitting super hard with that Shattered Fate and stuff. So not Shattered Fate, well, they probably are as well, but they're also hitting hard with the Tarnished Nightmare. So there's a lot of bursting going on, trying to get people down quickly. So I've up to the critical resistance to 2400, just to give you a bit more of a defense as well. Well, I said this build has got crazy defense, but obviously you're going to have that little bit extra critical resistance, so you're not getting burst down fast. We've got 64 points into health, just to push that max health as high as possible. The critical damage is only 22 on the stat sheet, but add the 50, so you're at 72. And then the major and minor brittle, so that's going to push you to about 100% critical damage, so that's quite nice. We're running Bewitched Sugar Skulls. Again, like I said, the sustain, you are heavy attacking all the way through everything, so you don't have to worry about sustain too much. It is very, very manageable. And this is all your buffs you get. Most of them are from the Oaken Soul. We're running the Lord Mundus for the maximum health bonus, and also we are running a Vampire Stage 3 for the Undeath passives. So we'll go through the skills, so make sure you have all your passives in your 3 class lines, and then all your passives in the Destruction Staff. All your passives in light armor, and all your passives in heavy armor. You don't need the medium, as we are not running any medium. Make sure you have your passives in Undeath. You don't actually need the other ones, they are just optional, but they're not going to help, but obviously add them if you want to. You don't need the Fighters Guild passives at all, and if you can, try and get the Undaunted Command and the Undaunted Metal to give you some more stats and synergies. So again, that's another thing that will give you some sustain. I haven't actually got that put in properly. And also make sure you have all your passives in Assault and Support lines. I am a high elf, as this is perfect, as you're getting extra max magicka, because obviously you're stacking a lot into health. So make sure you have enough magicka as well, you know, but again, you're heavy attacking, so it will restore quite a lot. And also when you activate abilities, you restore magicka or stamina, whichever is lowest. It's probably going to be magicka, so that is going to proc quite often as well. You also get take 5 less damage, and when you've got a cast time or channeled abilities, which is very nice, you've got the increase the weapon and spell damage of the elemental talent. So again, this is synergizes very, very well, because like I said, we're stacking everything into health, and running high health is going to give you a lot of return on that magicka and weapon damage. You can run any race, to be honest. Like if you was a node, obviously you're going to have even more health and resistances and better ulti gen, but just make sure you compensate. So obviously you might need to push in more weapon damage elsewhere to compensate for that, or a dark elf is another great option. You can do a Khajiit, as you're going to get more critical damage. It's really up to you, but just whatever race you are, just bend it accordingly in the direction that you need. So if you pick a race that doesn't give you weapon damage, you need to put in more weapon damage from elsewhere, like on the jewellery, and so yeah, so forth. So and make sure you have your medicinal use to make your potions potion effects last longer. So we'll go into the champion points. Like I said, I've made some adjustments from the previous one. So we're still running fighting finesse for some more critical damage and critical healing. We're running master at arms for 6% damage done, and deadly aim for another 6% damage done. And I've also put on resilience to get that extra critical resistance. So like I said, you know, all the crazy night blades bursting you want this just to give you a bit more protection. In the green CP, I would just recommend rationer for your food. Liquid efficiency, I would recommend, just obviously so you don't go through your potions as much, as they're very expensive, because we're always running tri-stat. Gifted rider just for your movement speed, and Steve's blessing. The red CP has remained the same, fortified for your armour, boundless vitality for some health, pain's refuge just to reduce your damage taken with negative effects, and bastion to improve your damage shields. So like I said, the chilled status effect has been, the damage has been increased to this by 106%, so it's effectively doubled. So previously it was hitting reasonably good, and now it's hitting super hard. That ice really hurts. And if we go into the help section, tutorials, and we go down to combat and status effects, you can see frost damage applies chill, deals instant damage, applies minor maim for 4 seconds, reducing their damage done. And also, while an ice staff is actively equipped, which we have, it applies the minor brittle for 4 seconds, increasing critical damage taken. So that's just in the help guide there. And that is, like I said, the ice, that's why we're pushing all the ice damage, as it is super strong. So let's go back to the gaff, and I will show you just like a rotation and what to do when you're in actual combat. We'll just travel there quickly. So effectively, like I said from the previous patch, your chilled and ice damage is effectively doubled with the status effect changes. Right, so we're on the dummy now. Let's just get the food on, because the food's not even on. Right, so again, before you're in combat, always make sure you have, I forget what it's called now, your green lotus activated, as this is going to return health every time you're doing heavy attacks. So just make sure that is activated, and obviously your polar wind, just to get your max health as high as possible. And before you engage in combat, you are just pressing the deep fissure just to get a debuff on your enemy. So you would drop that and then come in with a nice heavy attack, and then just drop in your ice on the floor and your frost reach, and you're just holding down the heavy attack button and just keeping your attacks up. So every time the deep fissure is removed, just reapply it. Every time your healing green lotus drops, just reapply that. Keep your polar wind going, keep your ice ball going, and as you can see, like I said, you're going to get damage shields if you are constantly applying them. And like I said, if your ultimate is ready, you just come in with the ultimate, so have all your things applied and just come in with the ultimate right on top of them, and they'll get completely snared and they'll have really struggle to get away from you, and you'll be putting quite a lot of pressure on. And like I said, it is hitting very well. And just in between your heavy attacks, just keep doing frost reach. I say frost reach, yeah, it's called frost reach, yeah. And just then make sure all your skills are constantly up and just being applied, and just constantly holding down that heavy attack button. That is what I do. I do not let go of the heavy attack button unless I want to do a roll dodge. But like I said, you will be putting the pressure on the enemies, and normally they will back up from you. So yeah, that's pretty much how you would go in combat. Obviously, if you're in a tight spot, just keep spamming polar wind. This is going to be a super strong heal. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. How to run the build effectively. I was going to say something else, but I've just totally forgot. But yeah, like I said, you're going to be snaring enemies, you know, doing super strong damage. Like I said, it's been effectively doubled from last patch, and it is definitely a lot of fun to play. Actually, that's what I was going to say, it's the damage shields. So let's just drop the boss there, the trial dummy, and I'll just quickly show you the damage shield. So you get 2 damage shields. So if we go to the destruction staff line, and we go to here, look, fully charged ice heavy attacks grant you a damage shield which scales off your max health. So that is again why we're pushing the max health as high as possible, because it's going to give you a very big shield. So if we do a heavy attack there, nothing else, there is your little damage shield around you. And quite, I say little damage shield, it's quite a fair size of a damage shield. And then again, if you do the wall, that is going to give you another damage shield. So that is why you want to keep your heavy attacks up, because you're going to be constantly shielded. And like I said, with the red CP, with the red CP Bastion, that is going to, wherever it be, yeah, Bastion, that is going to increase the size and effectiveness of your damage shields, and also you're going to do more damage to enemies with damage shields. So it's a win-win there. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That is the build fully explained. Not too many changes. I have made some adjustments, and like I said, with the buff to the shield status effects by 106%. It's an absolute blast to play this patch. It's super forgiving because you've got very high health, you've got reasonably high critical resistance, you've got very high frost damage, and applying that chilled status effect, you've got debuffs on the enemies, you've got 100% critical damage and beyond, you've got high petting. It's basically got everything you need. As I said, just keep them heavy attacks up, because the weakness to this build is the sustain. So just make sure you are keeping them heavy attacks in constantly with the tri-stat potions, and you should be totally fine. You know, you will, if you stop the heavy attacks in between your skills, that is when you're going to notice something, and you're going to start struggling with sustain, because they're all magicka based. You don't have a large magicka pool, so just, you know, keep the heavy attacks going and you will be fine with the sustain. You could always, if you are really struggling, obviously you could change the food, but I would personally stay with the Bewitched Sugar Skulls. Just maybe just change the Mundus to the Apprentice, or the Atronach for the Magicka recovery. I think it's Atronach. But again, you should be fine because it's a heavy attack build, so you're just doing constant heavy attacks to restore your magicka, and I've not really had any problems. So yeah, enjoy the build, guys. It's absolutely a blast. It is really fun. It's definitely been buffed, and it is very nasty, snaring all your enemies and they just go down. I'll show you the game clips after the build video when it's ended. I've just done a battlegrounds. It was really fun, and yeah, it's just hitting super hard, and just people just run away from you. They really hate it. So I hope you enjoyed the build video, guys. Drop it a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and enjoy the clips, and I'll see you in the next video.
Secure the